Okay, folks, we continue in the 12th letter. The Alter Rebbe is speaking about two ways to being charitable. One is the act of charity. And the act of charity, the Alter Rebbe explains as follows. It creates peace on high. Through us, creating peace over here. The peace over here is the fact that there is a mixture of good and evil, and we sift through that everything has an admixture of good and evil, klipas noiga, and through sifting through that, we take out the good, and that creates peace, ultimately down here. Through creating peace down here, we create peace above. Now, how do we specifically do that? So Alter Rebbe explains that the nature of the Jewish soul is to be compassionate and to perform deeds of loving kindness. Because the soul comes from the divine attributes, and in the divine attributes, chesed, kindness, prevails over gvura, tzimtzum, and judgment. As the verse says, his kindness prevails over those who fear him. Now, the Alter Rebbe explains, charity that comes because of the nature of the soul is called an act of charity. What does that mean? So an act, in Hebrew, ma'aseh, implies already done, or that which is constantly being done. So what does that mean? In regards to charity. Means charity that's motivated by the innate nature of the soul, which the innate nature of the soul is to be kind and compassionate. It's implanted there in the very nature of the soul, and God is constantly recreating that nature of the soul in the act of creation. As it says that God blew into the nostrils the breath of life, right? Blew meaning from an inner part, an innermost part of God, which is kind and compassionate. It's blown into the soul. And therefore, it becomes a part of the nature of the soul. That is constantly being recreated. The act of God's renewal of ma'aseh bereshis, which means the act of creation. It's constantly being renewed. That's why every morning is like a new day, and meaning that it's being blown into the nature of the soul, so to speak, the breath of life, the breath of a soul that is kind and compassionate. Therefore, giving, because the soul, by its God-given nature, is kind and compassionate, again, is the act. Act means a constant engagement of doing. God is constantly doing, that he's providing in the act of creation, a constant renewal, a renewal of these qualities of the soul. Therefore, when we give because of that, that's the act of charity. In a sense, what it means, it's almost, in spite of yourself, you're giving. It's not because of you. It's in spite of you. Not in spite of you. That's not the right word. It's because it's the inherent nature of the soul to give, to be kind. I do want to point out something unique about the Jewish soul. And it is this point, and I just to bring it across more clearly, I live in Montreal, which is about 85,000 Jews. And to the, the federation that collects funds over here, they collect around $45 million every year. Out of 3.5 million people, human beings that live in Montreal vicinity, the similar non-Jewish organization raises about the same amount, maybe a little more, 50 million. And that's besides all the other places that the Jews give, like to Israel, to Chabad, right, and so on. The point that I'm making is, how is it that the same amount is given from 85,000 compared to 3.5 million? It's because the unique nature of the Jewish soul. It's not because it's a question of the chicken and the egg over here. Is it because we educate we're more educated about charity, therefore we give more? Is it because we have more, therefore we give more? No, it's because it has to start somewhere. Why would the Jewish way be to educate that? It has to start because there's something inherent in the nature of the Jewish soul. And that's what the Alter Rebbe is explaining over here. Inherent to the nature of the Jewish soul is benevolence and compassion. And therefore, the giving is, a very natural and innate part of the Jewish condition, because of the Jewish soul, as we just explained. The Alter Rebbe now goes further. The Alter Rebbe now goes further and says, well, that's only doing the act of charity. It's almost like it's acted upon you because of the nature of the soul. But then there is the avodah of tzedakah, the service of charity, which implies to immerse yourself with exertion, contrary to the soul's inclination, meaning to overrule your nature. Because of your nature, you'll give, but you will give in a limited manner. In other words, you're giving then out of deference to the supreme will of God, which means you will exhaust yourself in your giving, as you exhaust yourself in your Torah study and your prayers. Meaning you're going to press out your soul to give beyond what you are naturally inclined to. Naturally inclined, you will give. That's the nature of the Jewish soul. But to give above and beyond takes toil and effort. This is what it means, the service of tzedakah, because you're serving. You're not doing that which is natural and instinctual. That is a more profound form of giving. Short class today. Karen from London, welcome. Arlene from Richmond Hill, Ontario, fellow Canadian, shalom. Heather from Connecticut, welcome. Pamela from the Eastern Shore, Boker Tov. John from North Carolina, Batya from Montreal, Marilyn from Delaware, Darren from Saskatchewan, Crystal, shalom. Tarek saying shalom from an Egyptian Jew. Wonderful. Catherine, giving and helping empowers your soul. Absolutely. Claudio from Brazil, Shavuot Tov. Mikesia, mezuzah inspection. Yes, it is the month of Elul, and we need to check our tefillin and mezuzahs. I don't do it, no. Laurent from Montreal, thank you for joining. So Karen is asking, if a person gives because they want to help, or a person gives because they know it's a mitzvah, does it make a difference as to how much good it does for the soul above? So we're talking here about giving because it's the nature to give, or that you rise above and give beyond what your natural inclination would be to give. That's what we're talking about. So, are you able to squeeze out, eke out beyond? Like giving, so to speak, till it hurts. Not too much. Shouldn't hurt. Hurting in the sense that you feel it. That was... That's what we're talking about. So it's not so much about knowing, well, of course you know that it's a mitzvah, and that's what we give because it's a mitzvah. Absolutely. But we're talking about to what extent is the giving. Are you exhausting yourself, like in learning Torah and davening, that you gave it your all? It means we exert ourselves. So exerting yourself in studying a Torah right now, by the way, means that you're really paying attention. That anything, you're not looking at anything else on your phone, or on your computer, or anything around you. You exert yourself to the utmost, to be totally engaged. That's Torah study in such a manner. Davening, prayer, similarly. You exert yourself in a focus in your davening. We get that. Same thing as with charity. We exert ourselves, that we're giving beyond that which we're comfortable, that we feel it. That's the discussion over here. Excuse me. I hope that's clear, Karen. But thank you for your question. Stephanie from Illinois, welcome. Philip, shalom. Shoshana Bina, welcome aboard. So Margot asks, so is that the second 10% after the tithe, or the hurting might be more? A good question. I guess it all, 10% is what the minimum you have to give. So you could give, so if you're giving the 11th% or the 12% or whatever it is, so then that's, the avoida. That's where you are exerting yourself. If you're giving naturally 15%, let's, for argument's sake, right? So the exertion means going a bit beyond that, right? That's what we're talking about. We all have a point, we all have our comfort zone, right? And we like to live in that. The amazing thing of the Jewish soul's comfort zone is that we're going to give. We're going to give. But that doesn't mean we exerted ourselves. The higher level is that exertion. Yeah, that's it. As Vacha says, that's great to give when it hurts, but the consequence is amazing. Yeah, actually, tomorrow's class, we'll see what the consequence is. Thank you, Vacha. Segueing into what we will discuss tomorrow. By the way, when it hurts or you feel it, it's not meant to be that you're pained by it. Not painful. Oy, I gave away. Oy, no. It's not to be painful. God forbid. You do it with joy. But joy doesn't mean that you don't feel it. Doesn't mean you didn't have to work on it, to exert yourself. That's what we're talking about. But what will the reward be? So that's continue in tomorrow's class. Folks, thank you. Wonderful. A reminder, tonight, 6:30, on Chabad, on Facebook, Chabad ZK, or on Zoom. You can actually zoom in. The information will be put up. If those who want to know more about other classes and things, please private message me. We'll put you on the list. Many of you are already there, and we'll keep you posted. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from my home in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you, Tanya. Please share, and have a wonderful, good day, a good vach, a Shabbat Tov, good week.